So I've been trying unsuccessfully to make a video, first of all of speaking and the microphone wasn't switched on, and then of playing the guitar, and that I couldn't play anything to my satisfaction at all. And so I gave up on that, and I'm going to try one last attempt at speaking, which is probably the more urgent thing. But the guitar brings me onto it because I'd stopped playing for quite a long time. I've always done that in my life. I've had periods when I play a lot and periods when I just don't play. And it's another indulgence, actually. And so I hadn't played for a while. And when I came back to the guitar, I decided to use exclusively a flat pick. And I've never played with a flat pick. I used to play electric with a flat pick, but that wasn't my main thing. I've always played finger picking. And I've become interested in flat picking, and I like flat pickers and the way that this guitar sounds with a flat pick. So I decided I would learn flat picking. And as I tried to play the guitar, it suddenly struck me what a poor guitarist I actually am, considering that I've been playing the guitar for 55 years or 65 years. No, 55 years. I'm sorry. Because I've never taken it seriously. And the reason for that is my pride and arrogance, which have been revealed to me through the blow. And this has been my liberation. I've seen my ridiculousness. And I've gone through life taking a very superficial view of all sorts of things because I was too good for them. And so it has been with the guitar. It's shameful that I'm not a virtuoso player at this point, and I'm not. But I could have been if I'd applied myself. I'm not talking about talent, I'm just talking about hours of study and practice. That's all it is. Well, I mean, that's debatable, but certainly that's the fundamental ingredient. So now that I'm, in this new spiritual path, however much time remains to me, I have to change my approach to my playing. So I'm learning a new technique, a physical technique with the right hand, but also a new mental approach to the subject. But flat picking is really great fun. I'm enjoying it so much because a flat pick is far more rhythmic than finger picking. So it gives me the opportunity to play some up-tempo stuff and, to get into the groove a bit. I'm a bit worried about my neighbours because I usually play really quietly. But, I've very little experience strumming and I really enjoy it. So I'm practicing strumming and different licks. And it's an art of its own, of course. It's very challenging, but in all areas of my life, because of my immense pride, which for some reason I never really saw how uplifted and proud a man I am. But I've seen it now. And I do find it funny, actually, more than anything else. I mean, I suppose it's shameful, I don't know, but it seems a bit ridiculous to me now. I'm not trying to change or anything like that, I'll probably carry on just as bad as before, but that's my nature, and it's been an ally, but it's also been an enemy, of course, because it's led me to a superficial attitude towards far too many things, really, that should have been taken a lot more seriously. And the one that's come under my hand is playing the guitar, but it doesn't matter where I direct my attention, there's more of them. Sweeping the tonal is quite a serious business. I mean, it's an idea of sorcery, but I follow the Bible. I don't follow anything else. I follow the Bible. The Lord Jesus Christ is my rock. And I look at everything in relation to what I find in the Bible, and I find much to encourage me, I have to say, much encouragement Um, I've been reading Isaiah. I think I was in Isaiah 35, was it? Where there's the way of holiness. Oh, such a beautiful passage. I think it's speaking of our present times, you see. I know that people will say, well, that was you can give it an historical context, and I think you can, of so many parts of the Bible, but they all seem to have a present day context to me. A context in my life is very frequent, and of course that's the beauty of the Bible. That's why it's not an ordinary book. It's speaking to us, and it's an encouragement. It really is a very present help in times of trouble. So I have to clean up my act, also in the realm of playing the guitar, such as it is important. It's not important, of course, but nonetheless. Things need to be done seriously. There's a certain amount of diligence. And power has been given into my hand. I don't know. It's just happened. And my life has changed. It's an exciting path. I don't know what precisely. Well, I think it leads to death. I think it's a preparation for death. But I don't mean that in a morbid way, because I'm getting old, although there is that aspect to it. But I think all warriors have to make their peace with their death. I do think that death is a very powerful advisor. We're warned in the Bible, are we not, to always say, if the Lord will, this will I do, and that will I do, and I will build my barns. Well, will you? We don't know, but I feel that I have a certain feeling for it. And of course, I feel health running through my veins at the moment, although it's a painful health, but I feel it, this renewed vigor. And I don't know whether I've caused it or whether it's been caused in me. My change of behavior, my change of mentality, all these things have quite an effect on one's health. But really, there's so many practical things I understood that I can do, and that anybody can do. You don't have to be really anything to do some sensible things about getting your act together. All the things that you've been putting off, you need to get rid of those. It's just baggage. You need to have a clean slate almost. What's the point? What are you going to take to the crematorium with you now? I think I've got a few years left, if the Lord will allow me. I'm not about to, make a funeral pyre in the garden or anything like that. I'm looking forward. My friend, my Jamaican friend, gave me 24 years the other day, because he always adds 24 years. It's his sort of token number, a biblical number from Psalm 24, which speaks to the jurisdiction of God, which he rightly claims is very important. And he believes that 24 is a mystical number, which it is. There's 2 12s. And you start looking at chapter 24s and verse 24s in the Bible, and some surprising things will come to light, actually. So he uses 24 as a cipher almost, and he claims that if you live until you're 70, which is your contractual, then you get another 24 on top of that, if the Lord will have grace upon you. I don't know. It's just so much nonsense, really. I know that. It's not important. We don't count our lives really in numbers of years, because we're always in the present whenever we are. The whole concept of time is purely ludicrous. we've always been here and we've always been now, haven't we? All of us, all the time. That's why one of the reasons I'm interested in the gates of perception, as it were, because I've understood that there is such a thing as I hesitate to call it time travel, but time is not a real thing in a certain manner of speaking. We can transcend it, I believe, in our lives. I was interested to read in the 6th Castaneda book about a group of sorcerers who were the ancient ones, and they were practicing. I think it spoke of, I don't know whether it was 1,000 years ago or rather a long time ago. But they were known of, and they were not spoken of, and apparently their practices had been abandoned, and their intention was to outwit death, that they could live. They would not die. They would use their sorcery to take up an issue with death and to somehow play a trick on death and be able to elude death. And there is some support for that possibility, but of course, this is the spirit realm. Then these are the walking dead. They have become, and they still stalk the earth in their conceit. This is the problem with this stuff. You see, if people going into it, I haven't adopted really. The only practices that I've adopted are what I would call good advice. A good way to walk, a good way to eat, a good way to hold yourself. A sober and serious mentality in respect of everything, and at the same time as light-hearted as possible, because everything is ridiculous anyway. I like that. I like those aspects. But as for doing the dreaming, what is today called lucid dreaming, they use different terms. They use dreams to create this altar that can move independently of the sleeping person and to start to do things and appear in the world. This is done through manipulation of reality in a way, or understanding that reality isn't real, and I believe that is a true understanding of reality. Because we don't see the world, we see what we have constructed in our mind first and foremost. There's a cultural filter, and we can't. It's not just cultural. It's built up by layers and layers of personality and knowing and doing, and so we look at what we consider to be the real world, and we fail to see a world that's sort of underlying that of spiritual energy, which is also real and tangible and can be used. And I assume that it was the world that through which so-called supernatural events in the Bible were always practiced, because these things can be done when power is assembled. But power is in the hands of the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm quite a meek man in these sorts of matters. I wouldn't want to presume. I mean, I am presumptuous also, but I certainly wouldn't meddle with these things. I don't feel I think it's dangerous, and in fact it is. The sorcerer himself says it's very dangerous. and they benefit from guides. I'm not the sort of person that can follow a guide. If I'd met Don Juan, I think sooner or later I would have told him to take a long walk off a short plank. I can't be having people telling me to close my eyes and to think of this and to think of the other. My arrogance doesn't allow it, for one thing, and also my faith doesn't allow it. I'm very jealous of my faith, and I've been duped many times in my life. So it's not going to happen again. And I listen to what people say. It's not that I don't listen, but I don't follow them. Nothing really seems worth following. And this too doesn't seem to me to be something that I would follow. I have the kingdom of God before me. What more could I possibly want? God bless and good night, everybody.